Injuries, please.
I guess from the other night, Destiny, no injury, but he's still a bit sore from the game. So not ruling him out, but we'll just see how he is, obviously, with the turnaround. Biss is obviously available after being suspended on the weekend, and I think everyone else says is.
Do you know when Van der Ven might be back yet?
Van der Ven, Romero, sort of still kind of chugging along. Look, I think both, to be fair, will be in the new year. When, again, not as significant injuries as last time with Mickey, but obviously with having a setback, medical team's just going to make sure he's right to go. So both of them sort of in the new year at some point.
And Mikey Moore?
Mikey's back training, so hopefully not too far away. I think the next cab's off the rank are kind of Mikey, Ben Davies potentially next week, and then Richarlison maybe first week of the new year.
What's been the reaction since Sunday? Has there been a confidence boost, a notable change in mood with that victory?
No, we were in good mood before then. Obviously, it was a great performance on, in the last game and on Sunday, and I was delighted with the way the lads handled everything. It was a tough week, with an away European fixture as well thrown in there. That was, tough on us physically, obviously. And the fact that we had so many players out, I think the way the players performed was outstanding, but mood's the same. Looking forward to a big game.
And you focus now on the League Cup. How big a priority is this for you this season, and how good an opportunity is it for silverware, being, just 2 games now from Wembley?
Yeah, well, we got ourselves in that position, so we've earned that. And, like you said, it's a big game, quarter-final of a cup competition, and looking forward to it. Should be a cracking night.
Manchester United, there's a bit of noise around the club at the moment regarding Marcus Rashford.
There's always noise about Man United, mate. Come on, where you been? Eh?
But particularly, he's admitted he'd like a new challenge. I mean, what have you made of that, and how big a threat?
Interest, don't care. No interest. He's a Man United player, very good player. They've got plenty of good players. But I manage my players, and I guess other managers will manage their own players. But in terms of Mark's situation, have no real desire to examine it any further.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, bud.
Ian. Hi, Ange, how are you?
I'm good, bud.
So you've reiterated many times, second season, trophy. Is this...
I haven't reiterated many times.
Yeah.
But if you ask me a question, I'll answer it. So if you ask me 100 times, I'm going to answer it 100 times. But I'm not going to walking around with banners saying, I win things in my second year. But, ask me the question, I'll give you the answer, and it is what it is.
Here's the question then.
Now tell me, mate.
Okay. You're so close if you win tomorrow night to getting your hands on a trophy. Can you almost feel like this game is the most important game of your season?
No, I don't think quarterfinals is close. You get to a final, then you're close. There's still a fair bit of football to be played. All we can do is, be ready for tomorrow night. Like I said, good game. Big opponent. They've done well in cup competitions the last couple of years. We're at home, which is great for us with the support behind us, and as you said, an opportunity to get to a semi-final. So I think that's enough kind of motivation and kind of focus we need for this game.
And again, with your philosophy, and I'm kind of like not wishing to poke the bear here, but with your philosophy being what it is, and you've always said you'd rather play well and keep things going and the players know where they are rather than have high-profile wins here and high-profile wins there. But now you are within sight of semi-finals and maybe a final. Would you park that a little bit to one side just to get through these next 2 rounds and the final?
I want to win and I want to play well. I don't think that's anything new, and that'll be it tomorrow night. We'll go out there, try and play our football, and if we do, we'll be hard to stop as we have been this year.
Finally, a quick one on, you obviously won at Southampton brilliantly on Sunday, 5-0. Russell Martin was sacked straight after the game, the same day that Gary O'Neill lost his job at Wolves. Quick word on those two and whether or not managerial careers in the Premier League are becoming more and more precarious, even since you've arrived in the last 18 months.
Yeah, I think that's a fact, mate. You don't even get sacked in the morning now. You've got to change the song, mate. So, it's crazy. I don't get it. I mean, I don't know what the average tenure of a Premier League manager is these days, but, this notion that, clubs want to bring managers in and build stuff, it just doesn't exist, because we all understand, every one of us in our positions at the moment, is that the moment there's a bit of a wobble, they'll be coming from all areas. So I think Gary and Russell are two outstanding young managers who've got long careers ahead of them. Unfortunately, I think for them, they're beginning their careers. That's what a manager's career is going to look like. I think you're going to find that from now on, managers are going to have about 20 clubs on their CV, even the successful ones, because the ability for clubs to just stick with one person just doesn't seem like it's feasible anymore. So, but I've got no doubt both those guys will bounce back. They'll have learnt from their experience for sure, like we all do, and hopefully in the not too distant future they're back doing what they love. Thank you.
Hi, Ange. Lucas Bergvall impressed in the number 6 role on Sunday at Southampton. You've got Yves Bissouma back tomorrow. Just how tough a decision is that for you in midfield? Well,
it's good to have an option there. Lucas did fantastically well the other night, and he has done in the last 2 or 3 games he's played for us. He's really made an impact. But the other night I thought it was really good. In the first half he kind of showed a real maturity playing that role, discipline, real quality as well. So it's good to have that option. Having Biss available is great as well. So I'll make a decision tomorrow. But at the same time, that was Lucas's first start for quite a while, and he did tire noticeably in the second half. So we'll just have to see how he's recovered from the game.
Fraser Forster's done well in net since coming in. Just for you, just how good has he been between the sticks?
Yeah, he's been great, and no surprise to me. I put him in my Europa squad. That's how highly I rated him, mate.
And then finally, Min Hyuk has arrived in the country. Yeah. Have you had an opportunity to meet him yet?
Yeah, he's been in the building the last couple of days, sort of, having a good look around. Obviously, we can't register until the 1st of Jan, so he won't train with us, but I always feel it's good. I had this experience at Celtic with the Asian lads we brought in, the Japanese Korean boys, bringing them in before Christmas allows them to settle in, especially off the field. And that way, by the time we get to register them in a couple of weeks, they're already settled and can train fully. So, but yeah, it's good to see him around. He's been obviously doing some English lessons, which is great. He's already sort of conversing, and great to have him in the building.
Thanks, Ange.
Thanks, mate.
Pass to Jay, please.
Hi, Ange. I just wanted to start by asking, how has Archie Gray adapted to being a centre-back, and are there any players who've helped him with that process?
How do you think he's adapted, mate?
Pretty well.
Yeah, well, you're a fair judge then, mate. You don't need to ask me. He's done really well, and it's a credit to him, mate. He's like I said, 18 years old, asked to play in a position he's probably never played before at the toughest competition in the world, plus in Europe, plus for multiple games. Because sometimes in a one-off you go, okay, you can sort of fill in, but he hasn't missed a beat, and it's brilliant to watch. I think all the lads have obviously helped him in that sense. I mean, Radu is kind of the experienced one, so to speak, at the age of, he's got Radu and Destiny, I think, at 22 either side of him. So, but that's where we're at the moment in terms of the squad, and I think all the young boys are kind of stepping up, and I just think that's super exciting that, through a tough period for the club in terms of, where we're at from a squad perspective, the young guys are shouldering a big part of the load. I think that's a brilliant thing for us, because once we get to the other side of this and hopefully get to some smoother waters, they're going to be so much better equipped for what's ahead. But yeah, Archie's done really well. His defending has been really solid. He still has, obviously he's got the quality on the ball as well, but just the way he's handled the fact that, we're asking him to do a really big job, like I said, and not just for a one-off game, I think he's handled it brilliantly.
Just wanted to ask you about Djed Spence again. He's not played a lot of football, but started for the first time on Sunday. How's he feeling, and is he ready to potentially play a few more games and maybe even tomorrow night?
Yeah, absolutely. No, Djed was, again, he was outstanding the other night. I said after the game, credit to the work the coaches have put into him and him, where, a guy who hasn't started for quite a while comes on and makes an impact. Again, it wasn't just about him sort of, filling a spot for us. He actually made an impact. I thought he was really good on the night. He obviously got tired, very tired in the second half, understandably so. But again, great for us to, in this period as well, to have somebody like him who's already kind of established player come in and help us. And he's recovered well from the game. He's obviously, like I said, he was tired, but I think he just felt really good that he could contribute and show what he can do. And look, I'm sure he'll get more opportunities.
There were some chants aimed towards the board during Sunday's game. I'm not too sure if you heard of them. If you did, I just wanted to know what your reaction to them was.
That's for the supporters, mate. It's not about. I've said it a million times. They have the right to express whatever they need to express, and but hopefully they got to enjoy the other night. It was a special performance by the lads, especially in that 45 minutes, and we're going to need them tomorrow night. I've spoken about sort of the atmosphere we got in Galatasaray and at Ibrox. I'd love that to be our atmosphere tomorrow night, because it'll certainly help us overcoming a tough opponent in a really big game. James.
Hi, Ange. I know you're often reminded of the wait for a trophy here. But do you think United actually are quite a good example of how winning a domestic cup isn't a panacea sort of by itself?
Yeah, I've said that before, and I guess it depends sort of which way you look at it. For I always feel that when you're building something, and certainly what my ambition is to build a team and a club that has an opportunity for sustainable success, then no, just winning a trophy I don't think shows that you've done that. But it can help the cause for sure, because it allows you then to have belief in you having the ability to win things and create an environment that does bring trophies to the club. So it's not it's definitely something that can help with the process, but it's not. Just my belief, but I just don't think it's the be all and end all if all the other factors aren't aligned with it. And what are those factors? Those factors are how the team is performing across all competitions, how its squad is developing. Is it stable? Is it consistent? Is there growth there? So that when you win one trophy, you're then in a position to win a second trophy. But if you win one, but then you kind of fall off a cliff in everything else, then I don't think it's the way forward.
What have you made of Ruben Amorim in terms of the impact he's had at United since he come in?
Yeah, very seems to have kind of come in and made an impact straight away. And as I mentioned earlier, it's a club that's always going to have noise, mate. It's just that kind of football club, and I guess that's as big a challenge as the coaching challenge for anyone who takes over. But he's obviously tweaked the formation a little bit and sort of giving different players an opportunity. He probably wants to have a good look at everyone. And but as they showed on the weekend, very tough competitors still. And looking forward to meeting him and taking on the challenge tomorrow.
And just finally, just on Rashford, I know you said you got sort of no interest in what he said, but he is a player who's been linked with Tottenham before. Is he somebody you might look at in January?
Oh, mate, if I looked at everyone that we were linked to, I'd have no time to do anything else, to be honest. But I've got other people to do that part of the process. And, for us, we've been pretty disciplined in terms of, what we're trying to build here, and we'll continue to be so.
Is that a no?
That side, mate, not on my radar. Not like it's not, you can ask me about Marcus, but you can ask me about every Premier League footballer, and I'd going to say the same thing.
Finish with George, please.
Hi, Ange. You often talk about kind of when you've got the success to go back and look at the struggle before that. It kind of feels like this period has been part of the struggle with the injuries and the form. How kind of encouraged have you been by the green shoots kind of amidst that with the young players stepping up and Decky emerging as a leader and things like that?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of what, that's, as I said last week, I haven't lost any resolve or optimism about what we're building, because I do. I see plenty of growth in this group, and I guess people are kind of looking at our league position and our league form, and within that context, they're probably saying, well, there isn't things developing here, but if you strip it away and kind of look at the challenges we've had this year, with the injury situation, we're probably one result away from people saying we're going okay in the league as well. So, I just think with all these things, my view is just stay calm, stay focused. I see plenty of growth. Like I said, I mean, when you look at, even Pape Sarr, mate, he's still a young man and he's growing all the time. He's becoming a hell of a footballer. I just get so excited by all that. I just think, well, we're going to hit some smoother waters at some point. I believe that in terms of where the squad's at. And, these kind of players who are now carrying us through this tough period are just going to come out, absolute. You talk about mentality. They've got through that, not only got through it, but helped the club through it at such a young age. Anything they face after that is going to, they're going to be able to, crash through. So, for me, I certainly feel there's some real growth that has happened and is happening at the moment.
And you mentioned the atmosphere there. The cup game against City was very good that night, wasn't it? I know it's kind of a cliche, but when it's a kind of a winner takes all match, how important do the fans become, especially sort of late on, I guess? Yeah,
massively. Like I said, that night against City, it was a big game for us, and the whole atmosphere that night, the way we started the game, the way we played the whole night was. But no, City were good on the night as well. It was a cracking game. Real sort of had a cup atmosphere, and we're going to need that tomorrow night. We're going to need that energy. All these games tend to be pretty tight games, and if you get the energy of the crowd behind you, it certainly can lift the players. And for us, it's going to be an important factor.
Okay, we'll end the broadcast section there.